knowing that you're an addict does not absolve you of responsibility. It bestows you with responsibility.
Wow.
Because now you know what you cannot do. Because, again, every addict's dream is, one day I can drink normally.
I say this is one of the most powerful CTAs that we're ever going to do, because addiction is a problem. It's the hidden problem in very many families. But also the lack of understanding of addiction means that we can't even deal with addiction. I feel like what this CTA is doing, it is enabling me to understand addiction and from all aspects. So now I'm understanding the rehab version. Rehab version number 1. I'm even understanding what rehab is. I'm understanding you as a first time goer to rehab, where your mindset was, so that and what, just the different facets about it. If you're catching us here, don't just watch from this perspective because maybe you've seen the title. Start this thing from the beginning. It's progressive, and it's a conversation that we're going to continue throughout this CTA. We're speaking here with Eric Mutiso. Question now. You said you've left rehab, you've gone back home. After 3 months, first of all, I didn't even know rehab was that long. Whoa.
That's standard. And, as we talk, I keep reliving. So I keep saying hindsight. Hindsight. When I look back I sometimes go to the lens of my family, what they're thinking. What are these guys going through? Because my mzee was not at it balling out of control where he just had some loose money to blow. And at the time, I really didn't understand.
What does a rehab like that cost?
The privilege. Towards a mic.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Hey, 1 M.
And at that age, I didn't even value, because it's an opportunity. You're being given a chance to actually turn your life around in a conducive environment that's not harsh. But I didn't have the wherewithal. I didn't have that ability to understand what opportunity this is and the sacrifice involved. So I'm always taken back to just be so grateful to my family. And for guys who are watching who have a member, or you're the one it's only family who can. For the most part, friends will be there to a point. The guys who will see you through, it can only be family, man. That's just a hard fact. And they're the ones you'll hurt the most, emotionally, financially, but they are the only ones who can actually deal with you all the way through.
What about your friends in St. Mary's at this time when you are in rehab?
No, come on. By the time I'm 19, some guys knew, but even them, they didn't have the maturity. We're going to visit Eric. Let's be supportive. So when I came out, my thing was, let me avoid all my old friends. But I let my guard down, like I was saying. So I was like, okay, now I'm just going to operate the way I was. This ties also into spiritual matters. So you can't fight a battle without armor. Even if you have the best intentions, you have goodwill, you have willpower, you know. Willpower will only take you so far. And I'll come to that. So I enrolled in flight school.
2009 still?
Yeah. I started doing my PPL, private pilot license. I fall in love with flying, man, so fast. It was a dream, and now I'm doing it. I'm good at it. Textbook, because I've let my guard down, I start hanging out with people who are not like-minded in terms of, I can remember we're 19, so guys are turning up, even in the Wilson environment, Wilson Airport. You go to class, you fly, guys wanna go and booze at Uchumi. So before I know it, I've relapsed. And
were you scared the first time when you took the booze, knowing you've just come from rehab?
Guilt. So the moment you've had an encounter with recovery by way of rehab or any form of, you will never drink in peace again. And here's the catch. It becomes a compounding effect.
Oh, because now you're trying to even...
Because you drink and I'm like, all that money down the drain, I've let everyone down. And this time I still live with my parents. So as soon as they realize, you get your boozing. I remember my mom could not believe the nerve. Yani, we've done all that 3 months, we've thrown these chums. Yani, and this, you've let it go like that. So
did they sit you down?
They tried. I tried to convince them that this time I'll regulate. They could see some good progress by way of how I was handling school. Like, this guy has found something he's passionate about. But you see, addiction, you're not in control.
And yes, at this time, they don't... Do they know you are addicted?
They
or
don't-
even them, they're still in denial?
No, for them, it's especially that first time, for everyone, it's a moral issue. It's not an addiction issue. It's a moral issue. You're just irresponsible. You don't value us. You have decided to take this path. Those are certain words, those are certain phrases that have been used, you know, like, so you're choosing this path, when kichwa ngumu, you've chosen to be difficult, you know. And it's not from a bad place, it's from an ignorance place. In 2009, no one knows, especially in this side of the world, no one understands addiction is a disease. No one. World WHO have not even maybe made that proclamation. That came way later. But the understanding is it's a moral issue. Remember, this is a time even where mental health outside addiction is you guys are irresponsible. Bipolar guys are being told how they're irresponsible.
Yes.
Guys are being ragged
Yes.
as a solution. Guys are ragged is to be beaten.
Yes.
Guys are being beaten as a solution. As in, families actually congregating to whoop a guy because he's having a bipolar or manic episode. So mental health is zero at this point. Families don't want to understand. I remember being told things like, don't repeat those things you are taught how to express yourself in rehab. You know, don't tell us about addiction. Like, don't tell us those things those Western concepts.
Yes.
You're coming to tell us how you're struggling at, all these different slogans, and guys are like, nah, so
Man up.
man up, I'm a big guy, big for nothing, all those things.
Wow.
But now here's the thing, here's a kicker. For addicts, knowing that you're an addict does not absolve you of responsibility. It bestows you with responsibility.
Wow.
Because now you know what you cannot do. Because, again, every addict's dream is, one day I can drink normally. So you think it's because I was sad that time, now I'm happy, let me try again, it backfires. It's because I didn't have chums, now I have a bit of chums, let me drink now, it'll be better. It ends up the same every time, and every new time ends up worse than the other.
Wow.
And you always pick up where you left off. There's no time even right now, I'm almost 4 years. If I was to pick a drink today, it'll look like the last time. Immediately, within 2 days, I'll be unrecognizable. This has happened before where, like, if I can, I know the mind of an addict is also interesting. Like, if I can pull 3 years, if I can do A, B, C, D, E, F, this thing, see, the same strength I've used to handle all these other things, and then it licks you properly. And there's that illusion is what keeps guys in that cycle, that you one day, I remember when we met with you, Esther, you said something that for me confirmed you're not an addict. Actually, you might have been a heavy user, but you said something about choice.
Yeah, I only used to drink with my friends.
And you said even right now, if you were to have a drink, it's a choice. It's not.
Yes.
Addicts don't have that choice. You see, you have the choice to stop. An addict, once you start, there's no choice to stop. Everything goes out the window. All important things are, like right now, I have a whole flying career. That will become
Gone. Out the window.
My wife.
Gone.
Like, everything becomes secondary.
For real?
With immediate effect.
Okay.
Yeah. So that responsibility I'm talking about, how it doesn't absolve you. It absolves you the first time because you didn't know. Once you've confirmed, there are very many indicators.
In fact, let's how do you know if it's between moral or addict? How can somebody identify an addict?
So they're drinking, so now if you're doing a self-analysis, drinking against obvious consequences. Obvious. Every time you drink, there's so much drama attached. There's such heavy loss where there are so many people who have drunk once and said, you guy chomad, I removed my shirt, and they've never drunk again. A guy has an accident, he's never drunk again. An addict against all these consequences. You've been arrested, you're flunking school, your life is just in shambles, your reputation is gone, but you still keep drinking because you can't stop. You just can't stop. And somewhere along that line, it becomes physiological. So it can start as you're an addict, you have an emotional and dealt with issues, then over time, now it's physiological. Like, I need to drink. I need. That's where you have things like people shaking. So that's not someone who has a choice per se. Yeah. And don't get it twisted. All these companies that make alcohol know this. If you want to take a litmus test, ask around. If you've ever drank a quarter and you bought a quarter, either you bought a quarter because you're a very reserved drinker, like you just needed that quarter and maybe you'll bembeleza it for 3 days. But by the time you're drinking quarters, it's because your finances are in shambles in a way. You can only afford a quarter, but you need the fix. So I asked around, later I'd asked my bro, have you ever drunk a quarter? Like, a quarter? No.
Yes.
Me quarter was quarters, and you'll find even as you develop, there's places you go where there's quarters of quarters. There's quarters of quarters of quarters. You can buy a quarter of a quarter of a quarter. It just keeps, it's a compounding effect. It's progressive. Over time, you will never be where you are. In fact, at some point, you start looking back and fantasizing. I remember that time, I would just drink a mzinga and while out a bit. Now I'm drinking changa, or now I'm borrowing money. Now I'm conning guys. At some point, you even stop having shame of, let me call Esther and give Esther a long story, how I lost. Yo, Esther, man, guys, how you guys need 5 sock. I don't even have time to tell you a long story.
You just want the money.
I just want the money for the booze. I don't have time to start taking you on a journey of, yo, I got robbed, I lost my... You guys just... Yes or no?
Like,
are you sending or are you not sending?
Wow.
Kesi badai. So, I was just trying to emphasize the fact that once you confirm you're an addict, you're not... The responsibility is actually yours. Yeah, it's not for someone to carry you through. If you have people who will help you, family, that is a blessing. If you have a support system, that is a blessing. But most addicts get it right when they are completely alone and at rock bottom. It's very hard for someone to begin the real turnaround when they've not hit a real rock bottom. And rock bottoms for people are different. Rock bottom for Unye will not be the same rock bottom for me. Rock bottom for, there's different levels. So
yes.
Don't compare rock bottom. Someone can, maybe he will miss a parliamentary meeting and be like, you're mad. Yeah. You text, you may be selling your car and see what.
Rock bottom may be, I was divorced.
Yeah.
I lost my kids. My kids don't talk to me.
Yeah.
That's rock bottom for somebody.
Yes.
Yeah.
And rock bottom really comes with solitude. Like, you've chomad everything and everyone in terms of there's no cachet. You don't have any social cachet with anyone, even for 100 bob, or even for a meeting, or even for someone to reply or text. You've burnt every bridge. And addicts are borderline genius. I'm not trying to call myself a genius, but in terms of social manipulation, I know exactly how much I can get from Wamai. I know exactly how much I can get from Esther, because I have a history of borrowing. I know how much social cachet I have with everyone.
You're calculated.
You know exactly, like that guy, maybe 2 more weeks if I can ask him again. That guy, that guy's a softie. I can get a loose G from him. This guy don't even try, So you know exactly, you develop some social IQ and for me, it's a gift that I use till today. My social antenna is so high. Society, we create...
Is that how you ended up on CTA? Did this guy just manipulate me? Am I a victim of your social antenna?
So you find normal society, most people color within the lines of whatever context they're existing in. Yeah?
Yeah.
Addicts color outside the lines. Yeah? Of course, that's figurative. So in society, you find guys wear cloaks. To exist, most people are wearing a cloak.
A mask.
I'm a lawyer. Who are you, though? Yeah? Now, the social IQ you build with addiction, you can see through most of it all. And you have to find a way to exist while knowing. Yeah? I find that even at my workplace. Yeah? Of course, there's hierarchies. There's boss, seniors. There's hierarchies in families. There's hierarchies because of age. there's hierarchies in societies, but usually you can see through the vanities of things, because that muscle was exercised so much in terms of manipulation. It's there, it can't go.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can actually use it to your advantage once you're in recovery.
It becomes a gift.
It becomes a gift. Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
I've said a lot there.
No, I love it. No, but I like it. No, I like it, especially from the perspective of an addict. You get? Because depending on a son calling a mother, Mom, I'm in hospital again. The mom is like, oh, this is my son, I have to do anything for him. You get? And that's a manipulative for him to get the chums, to him to buy the booze.
And you even know, like, see, you know with which family member where you've reached. So, love, a fearful part for an addict is when you start noticing love turning into duty. Where I'm doing this because I love you, then it's turning into duty. Because you guy are my son, or you guy are my bro. It's just because you're my bro. It's not because I love you, you know. And by the time they have reached there, they are justified. In fact, you're lucky that they didn't get out of that.
They didn't cut you off
earlier. Yeah, because as we push it till the end, yani, you want to see where does this thing go till the end. Until, for me, it took a near-death experience for me to begin to turn around. But now, as that sinks in, so I go to flight school, I do my PPL, I fare really well. One of my friends I start hanging out with in flight school, of course my parents noticed, hey, the craziest guy I've ever met, and me I was a crazy guy, craziest guy I've ever met to date.